everybody, welcome to today's maths lesson. Now, all of this week in maths, well, most of this week, we are going to be revising and revisiting things that we have done before, just so that we can keep them in our brains and make sure that we can still do them. So today, we are going to be thinking about using the formal written method of addition and subtraction. So this is something you're going to be amazing at because we've done it before. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video and write your date and learning objective in your home learning book. There we go. Okay, now we've done that and our book is all ready. If we were in school, what we would normally do is we would start with a bit of a brain warm-up. So I am going to write some quick fire questions on the board here, and I want you to write the answers in your home learning book as quickly as you can. Are you ready? Okay. Okay, so your questions here are ready to go. I'm going to zoom in for you so that you can see them. And then I would like you to complete those questions as quickly as you can. Are you ready? Okay, now here is how I completed the answers to these questions. The answers, you can mark these yourself. Half of 30 is 15. So well done if you got that one. A quarter of 20, well, to find a quarter of something, I chop it into 4. So I'm going to chop it into 4 pieces, and a quarter of 20 is 5. Now this question here, a fifth of 100, this is, when I see the times symbol, sometimes that can be a bit confusing, but all I need to do is read it as 1/5 of 100. So the answer is 20. Half of 75, well, that's quite a tricky one, and sometimes people use partitioning to help them. So 75, that is 5 and 70. Half of 5 is 2.5, and half of 70 is 35. And if I add those two back together, I get 37.5. So half of 75 is 37.5. 852 times by 10 is 8,520, and 852 divided by 10 is 85.2. Well done if you got those. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to start with some addition questions, some plus questions. And I'm going to show you how I would like you to set those questions out in your book, just like we do in school. You have done this before, so fingers crossed, you are going to be amazing. Okay, the first thing you need to make sure you do is get your columns lined up. So all your tens are going to be in the tens column, and all your units or ones are going to be in the ones column. So I'm going to write out the question 67 add 23. So 67 add 23. Now I'm going to have my tens column and my units or my ones. And I'm going to write this number first. So I've got 6 tens and 7 units. And underneath, I'm going to write this number. So I have 2 tens and 3 units or ones. Units and ones, that's the same thing. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line to separate my answer from my calculation. And I'm going to start with the smallest, the column that has the lowest place value, which is my units. So I'm going to do 7 add 3. And 7 add 3 is 10. But I can't have 10 ones or 10 units. So I'm going to swap that for 1 10. And I'm going to write it over here. And then I'm going to put 0 in the units column. Then I'm going to move over and I'm going to add up my tens. 6 add 2 is 8, and don't forget this one up here. Add that on and you get 9. So 67 add 23 is 90. Now let's try one a little bit trickier. The next question I am going to do with you is 424 add 20. Okay, so again I'm going to have my tens and my units just like before, but this time I've got a number with something in the hundreds column. So I'm going to add my hundreds column here. So I'm going to write my greatest number first, 424, and I'm going to write my next number underneath, 20. I'm going to write my line, draw my line, and I'm going to make sure I've got my symbol so that I don't forget and accidentally do a subtraction. Okay, I'm going to add my 4 and my 0, which makes 4. Then I'm going to add my 2 and my 2, which makes 4. And I'm going to add my 4. Oh, I've got nothing here. That's because I've got no hundreds in this number 20. So if you get confused, you can add a 0, but the answer is 4. So you set out a subtraction question almost exactly the same way as you set out an addition question. But the important thing to remember with subtraction is that you're going to put the greatest number on top. So what if I show you this question? 808 subtract 396. So I'm going to take my greatest number, which is 808, 808, and place that on the top. And underneath, I am going to write 396. Again, I'm being very careful that I've got my hundreds, my tens, and my units in the correct column. Now, I need to double check. I am doing a subtraction, a takeaway. So I'm going to write my symbol there, and again, I'm going to do a line to separate my question from my answer. So I'm going to do 8, take away 6, and that is 2. I'm going to do 0, take away 9. Oh wait, I can't do that. So I'm going to borrow 1 from here. Make it a 7 and move it over. Now I'm going to do 10 take away 9, which I can do, and 10 take away 9 is 1. Now I'm going to do 7 take away 3, and 7 take away 3 is 4. And that is how you complete a subtraction calculation. Now, if you find subtraction a little bit tricky and you're not sure if you've got the correct answer, you can do something very clever to check. You are going to use what we call in maths the inverse operation. We are going to do the opposite of what we've just done. We've just done a take away, a subtract, and we're going to do the opposite to check. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. You are going to take your 396 and your 412, and you're going to add them back together. Now, if you have done your calculation correctly up here, we should get the answer 808. So let's see. 6 add 2 is 8. 9 add 1 is 10. We're going to put our 1 here and our 0 here. And 4 add 3 is 7. And add 1 more, that makes 8. So I can be sure that I have got the correct answer because I have used the inverse operation of subtraction. I've used addition to check. So that was a really quick recap of how we use the formal written method of addition and subtraction. I'm going to show you 2 sets of questions now. We've got some green pepper questions today. If you're quite confident with this, but you are not completely confident, I would go with the green pepper questions. And if you are absolutely loving it and you are brilliant at this and you feel super, super confident and happy, then you can go with the red pepper questions. Now, today, when I look at your home learning, because remember, you're going to take a photo and you're going to send it to me. When I look at it today, I'm going to be looking to check that you have tried your best to use the column method, the formal written method that I have shown you today. If you're unsure about any of the questions and you're not quite sure how to use this method, you can watch the video again, or you can write us a little note in your home learning. We do sometimes do self-assessments in school to tell us, actually, I found this really tricky and I'd like a little bit of extra help. And what we can do then is when either whilst you're learning from home or when you come back to school, we can make sure that we give you a little bit of extra help so that you're super, super confident using your formal written methods. Have an amazing day, make good choices, and I look forward to seeing you really, really soon. Bye.